Guys, have fun.
It's time.
Warmed up. I know. I can't wait. And Donald Trump taking some hot laps. We expect to talk to the president. And a little later, Morgan Freeman. We'll hear from him live on Fox.
This night was a great night for the United States and for the world. A brutal killer, one who has caused so much hardship and death, has violently been eliminated. He will never again harm another innocent man, woman, or child. He died like a dog. He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place. God bless America. Thank you.
Be leaders ourselves.
Black women are being used by the Democrat Party.
All of these socioeconomic indicators are in the negative, particularly for black people.
They want mob rule. When Trump was in office, please somebody tell me what act of dictatorship did he perform?
She had Donald Trump's hair on top of her head. And she's sitting here talking about brown girl this, brown girl that.
Because she's a black woman.
They would ask her how to spell her first name and clap like sea monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
What's up, everybody? Happy President's Day to everyone. All right, we are Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Of course, we have Nicole Bennett, we have Shelly E, and it's Monday night. Back with us is Soldiers of Finance, Tyrone Keys. How are you all doing tonight?
Good.
Good. All right, so as I mentioned, happy President's Day. Today, we honor the legacy of leadership that has shaped our great nation, from Washington's foundational vision to Lincoln's unifying resolve, and of course, the transformative policies of President Donald J. Trump. I mean, under Trump's administration, at least the last one, America witnessed unprecedented economic growth, with over 7 million new jobs created and a middle-class families soared, rising by nearly $6,000. And then, of course, his America First policy redefined our trade. And now he is walking us, I should say, into a golden age. Happy President's Day. All right. So, I want to kick it off with that. I also want to say, we're here on YouTube and Rumble. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out our super chats. So it's the best way to get your voice heard in the conversation and to show your love for conservative content. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us, subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. And if you love President Trump, hit that like button, please. That helps to amplify our voice here on YouTube. Hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. So, what do you guys think about that as far as today being the President's Day? Do you think we should continue that? I know some Democrats are saying we shouldn't. What are your thoughts there, Shelley?
Look, it's been a tradition in America for a number of years, for decades. We can continue the tradition. We went from having Lincoln and a separate President's Day. So we had two initially, or two birthdays that we celebrated, and then they combined it into one. So look, let's just honors the office of the president, the presidency in the United States of America. Why not? Why not? The leftists just want to get rid of anything and everything that will reek of tradition, constitution, foundations, anything, again, that will not give credence to America. They want to get rid of it. That's what they want to do. They want to put that in place.
Yeah, absolutely, Nicole. I mean, it's a real thing. They actually want to get rid of it, or there are some talks about getting rid of President's Day. Before you react to this is clip 3. This is them saying this.
Elon. All right, so the headline here is presidential historian says President's Day is ridiculous. We should scrap it. What do you mean?
It is a little bit silly. I mean, we have had some real duds, so I'm not sure we really want to be celebrating all presidents. And the tradition actually comes from celebrating birthdays, which is a celebration that we inherited from celebrating the king. And I'm just not sure that that's exactly what we want. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that we necessarily want to celebrate the people. I think that we want to have a certain respect for the office. I totally get that. And some have done extraordinary things, but by celebrating all of them, I do think it causes us to think of the president as somehow other, when in reality they are a citizen just like everyone else.
So you mentioned this earlier in the show, the idea that Trump posted something just over the weekend where he quoted Napoleon Bonaparte-esque, saying, "He who saves his country does not violate any law." It feels like exactly the example of what you're saying we should push against.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I think if we think of a president as someone to celebrate just because they exist, which is what the king was, and that's why they celebrated the king's birthday, then it does evolve into that argument that they can do no wrong.
All right. So, I mean, Nicole, we've had some duds, so should we scrap President's Day?
Of course not. Listen, Abraham Lincoln was a tremendous president, and George Washington and I share a birthday, so they can go kick rocks. Let's just get this together. Celebrating President's Day is not about necessarily a particular president. It is respect to the office, but more importantly, from a worker perspective, and this is something that, blue dog Democrats would really respond to instead of these uber liberals, there has to be a day sometime in the winter that breaks up the work week, right? So when you think about the summertime, we have all of these manufactured holidays during the summer to kind of break up your working time. It's the same thing with President's Day. So I don't think these same ladies would say the same thing about scrapping Martin Luther King Day. I don't think they would say the same thing about throwing away Juneteenth or Black History Month or LGBTQIA month. I think this is them grasping at straws, and, shame on this Russian traditionalist presidential historian. I think people should be very grateful that we've had presidents, and not very many of them, only 47. And all 47 of these men, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, deserve respect.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, soldiers of finance?
Well, she revealed her lack of understanding when she used the term duds. What do you mean by that exactly? Most people in America think history started with the day they were born. So we hear people say, "Oh, the worst president in the world was Barack Obama." Actually, for my money, the worst president in the world was Woodrow Wilson, for resegregating the civil service. Also he pretty much set up the prelude to the UN. The greatest president, in my estimation, is Theodore Roosevelt. And you know what? We are in many ways living the third term of Theodore Roosevelt right now. Trump cites McKinley a lot, which is interesting because McKinley was assassinated and then Teddy Roosevelt, vice president, ascended to the presidency. I think we should celebrate these individuals because it helps us learn more about history. And from the standpoint of what the United States is, they are civilians that rise to the highest office in the land. And that's something unique in the history of mankind. But I wouldn't expect some idiot that reads a teleprompter to grasp that.
Right. She's probably never put her name on a ballot, so she doesn't know how difficult it is to be a candidate at any level. especially a presidential level. I mean, there's a certain amount of hubris, of narcissism that you have to think, here are all the world's problems and I can fix it, right? So there's a certain person who has a certain kind of thought process that would run for that office. And then you have to convince people to give you millions of dollars. Millions upon millions of dollars. And when they throw slings and arrows at you, you have to be willing to stand there and take it and still believe that you're the guy that can fix everything. So it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Every day is a fight. We are very lucky that President Trump is a worker bee. I mean, he works every day. There are no days off for him. He didn't take President's Day off. I am very interested to see what they're going to say when JD Vance is sworn in. Are they still going to want to do away with all of the holidays?
Of course they are. Of course they are. Tyrone, I want to I'm sorry, KJ. Tyrone, back up to your point, or an additional, when you mentioned that, I believe we should keep President's Day, but from a historical perspective, it also shows an honoring, again, for our Constitution, and an honoring of the continuity that we have had for almost 250 years, a very young nation, but it just gives credence to that. But these leftist jokers, these are the same people who will applaud, and they will even bow. I can't remember the state, I don't know, the state director that went over and bowed in front of the king, or in front. Americans don't do that, okay?
Yeah.
But these are the same people that would do stuff like that.
Right.
And Obama did that.
Obama did.
Yeah.
And one thing we know, TDS is real. Trump derangement syndrome is so real. And that's what these people have. And this is one of the reasons why they are talking about wanting to get rid of President's Day, because of Donald J. Trump is the president currently. But guess what? The American people love him. And we know this by the poll numbers that are out. He has a 63% favorability rating right now for recognizing only two sexes, and 60% favorable rating for deporting illegals. And they talked about this in this next clip on ABC's John Karl, in an interview with Hakeem Jeffries, currently the minority leader. And he almost, fell out of his chair after he went down this list of favorable numbers about President Trump. This is clip one.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong. I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your talk? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I want to make the switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
Donald Trump's favorability rating is actually higher than it ever was the first time around. Let me ask you, a recent poll by Marquette looked at several of the things that he has done or says that he is going to do, and 63% favor federal government's recognition of only two sexes. 60% favor deporting immigrants who entered the United States illegally. 60% favor expanding oil and gas production. 59% favor declaring an emergency at the southern border. Is there anything you are seeing that Trump is doing that you are in favor of, that you think is the right thing?
Let me say, as it relates to all of those issues, we're just at the beginning.
Woo! Social finance. He had to take a pause. He didn't know what to say.
And it's a shame. It's a shame because, first of all, Hakeem Jeffries has the personality of a bowl of oatmeal. And it's like, wake up. That sleepy eye thing going on, which bothers me. But you couldn't say, well, Donald Trump has proposed tax relief that would help the working class citizen in terms of tax relief on overtime, tips, and Social Security payments. We're in favor of anything that's going to help the working man. You couldn't even say that, So
TDS.
The form of TDS, where they cannot even agree on the things that they would have you believe are what they're all about, which we know is not true, but they can't even fake it because the TDS is so strong.
Absolutely. Yeah. We got a super chat here from Spitting Fire. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking the truth. I appreciate other content creators' truthfulness. Support like this is needed. Fire out. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Spitting Fire.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Shelly, what are your thoughts on that exchange?
Well, first of all, if Hakeem Jeffries could not, be open to hearing those numbers and those truths, how about these truths? How about most of Americans are sick of the bloated federal government? How about most Americans know, and so does the Democrat Party, know that they did not step up to the plate, that they are the party of the elites. They don't give a damn about the working class people. And I want to just circle back very quickly to canceling President's Day. Well, you know what I just thought of? Well, if we cancel President's Day, all those federal workers won't get an extra day off for doing nothing. But then again, it may not matter since many of them are being cut down anyway. Bam, let's go. They don't have to worry about the holiday. So how about all of these things, Hakeem Jeffries? How about most Americans are sick and tired? I think the Pew poll said about almost more than half of Americans are angry about the lack of focus on domestic issues. That means people's pocketbooks, taxes, crime, infrastructure, whatever that means. That means all of those issues that the Democratic Party just seems to have forgotten in view of their elitists, booty shakers, party goers. That's all that's important to them, not the rest of the people that they claim to protect.
Yeah. Yeah, Nicole. I mean, did you see his face? He was livid. He was steaming.
Well, here's the funny thing. You get the questions in advance, right? So he knew it was coming. It wasn't a surprise. That, I've done many of hits myself. I can tell you, they give you an idea. And if there's a gotcha question, they kind of give you the framework for that gotcha question. But this was his moment to say something. However, he knew that if he came out saying, Trump is doing a pretty good job on those taxes, Democrats off with his head. This party is trying to find its footing. They have no idea what they're doing. And on top of that, they're still running campaigns like it's 1988. You got people out singing old Negro spirituals and clapping hands and, yelling at security guards. In the meantime, Trump is ramming executive orders down their throat, 10 a day. They just, it's happening to them so fast, they just can't wrap their minds around it. So Hakeem had no other choice than to have that long blink. You're in trouble when you're doing an interview and you do this.
Right. Right.
Exactly. He's looking, but there was nowhere he could go with that safely. So he just kind of deflected to something else. We call it a pivot. It was a bad pivot on his part.
Oh, absolutely. And, folks, we are seeing a Democrat Party. Not only are they furious over, what is going on, all that is coming out and being uncovered and so on and so forth. And like you mentioned, Nicole, the fast rate of the way that President Trump is working, but they are being exposed and they don't know what to do about it. And they're nervous because they are about to lose their grift. So Doge, just out today, uncovered 395 million active Social Security numbers, exceeding the U.S. population by approximately 60 million. So shockingly, over 20 million of these are for individuals over 100, and more than 15 million are for those over 110. Elon Musk indicated in a post on X that millions of people listed in a Social Security database are recorded as centenarians, with the death field set to false. This is massive fraud. So now we know, how these Democrats have been funding their campaigns, how they have been funding these NGOs. Folks, we are seeing something of the likes we have never seen before, this amount of fraud. And once we get to the bottom of it, this may be, we've been in debt over year after year after year. We may actually fix the national debt.
It's very possible. Very possible. And I want to say this, KJ. Again, I don't vote Democratic, so I have no stake in the Democratic Party, but it's been both parties. It has been Congress over decades that have allowed this. Every year we damn near hear about the Social Security Trust Fund is going to be empty or gone broke in X amount of years. This has been ongoing. This is just Elon Musk. Finally, someone has been appointed and delegated to do the literal uncovering across the board. We have so much fraud, waste, and abuse at every level of government, particularly the federal government, no less, that funnels all of this money down from the local to the state levels, and we don't know where it's going. So thankfully, Elon Musk and his Doge team and little Doge too, and whatever the guy's name, what is his name? Big Balls or whatever his name is.
Big Balls. Big
all
balls.
Of them are uncovering this mess. Again, ultimately, the blame goes to Congress for allowing all of these agencies to run amok outside of the scope and the control of Congress, while they just, did their slept, or they took their vacations, or they did their insider trading and came out as multimillionaires. Ultimately, this is Congress's fault.
Well, when you start talking about how they're able to go up there to Capitol Hill with modest net worths, and then come out of there with, wealth that, like, how did they do this on $170,000 a year, right?
Right.
Now you start to understand that, look, the settings in the Social Security database, that many were not just happenstance, okay? That was being funneled somewhere. And so that's the next step, to find out where exactly was this money going. And I think that in the coming months, we're going to see a lot of people resign. But what we also need to see, we need to see some prosecutions, because it looks like we, the people, have been getting ripped off big time for decades.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Nicole, we had someone comment about this and say it's treasonous. Do you believe this is treasonous?
Oh, absolutely. It is the textbook definition of treason. Here's the problem that they're going to have. There's been so much widespread, systematic theft, thievery, deception, that there's going to be a little bit of blood on everybody's hands. But as an American taxpayer, not as a Republican, not as a conservative or Democrat, wherever you fall on the political spectrum, this is not about politics. This is about American culture. They told us that we needed to pay, right? You got to pay, you got to pay. You don't pay, we're going to ruin your life. And not only we're not going to ruin your life, we'll ruin your future too, but Absolutely. You got to pay. So they have this unending source of revenue. Well, we need it for the roads. I mean, I don't know. I've traveled all over the country and I've not seen one multi-billion-dollar road. You know what I mean? Like, especially around here in Maryland, you ducking and dodging potholes. Pennsylvania the same way, West Virginia, the whole Eastern Seaboard after wintertime is you're pressing your luck with these potholes, right? But they say we need it for roads, we need it for schools, but our kids are the least educated in the world. We need it for all of these things. And there's people dying in Africa and all of these reasons. And while we were saying, okay, we'll pay our fair share. Meanwhile, someone like Maxine Waters comes into office and she's got $2,000 in the bank to her name. And now she's worth $30 million. Yeah. How does that happen? Oh, and then her daughter is also worth several $million. Oh, how did that happen? So we've been getting, the short end of the stick, so to speak, for a very, very long time. And again, it's not a political issue. This is an America issue. Definitely an American problem.
Absolutely. I mean, according to the Social Security database, these are the numbers of people in each bucket with the death field set to false. Maybe Twilight is real and there are a lot of vampires collecting Social Security. This is what Elon Musk posted on Twitter, on the X today. So, I mean, this stuff is coming out and the Democrats are trying to do everything they can possibly do to get the American people off of this. They don't want us fixated on what is being exposed by Doge. And this is Jasmine Crockett now accusing Elon Musk of living off of the government. This is clip 2.
Elon Musk, government watchdog, and the guy getting billions of dollars in government contracts. Sounds totally normal, right? Wrong. And watch as Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett calls him out on it.
So while he was boosting those lies about U.S. aid, and he was stopping money going for, say, things such as Head Start, somehow the only money that didn't stop was the money to him and his organization. Now, I don't know how you can have him be the watchdog as well as the guy that is literally living off of the government. If we want to talk about government welfare, it looks like Elon Musk, because it's my understanding that just on yesterday, a new contract was approved for approximately $300 million for Elon Musk.
Once again, she nailed it. Elon Musk is not draining the swamp. He is the swamp. While people who rely on government programs to help them are losing those programs, Musk's companies like SpaceX and Tesla and Starlink are getting billions of dollars in contracts from the government. But don't worry, he's totally unbiased.
But the real issue here is that he's talking a big game about transparency, but he's not being transparent himself. This idea that Elon Musk shouldn't have to do financial disclosures like everybody else who's working in the government is ludicrous.
They're
the New York
over
Times,
the Doge website.
Well, also when you pull it up, it's empty right now. And President Trump said yesterday, oh, well, he doesn't need to do it. Caroline Leavitt has said he doesn't need to do it. The New York Times is reporting that at least 11 of the federal agencies that they have gone after have open complaints, over 32 open complaints into Musk's businesses.
Okay, so we need to unpack this.
Let me jump in here real quick. Mm-hmm. The Falcon 9 rocket has reduced the cost to put 1 kilogram into space, reduced it from $10,000 per kilogram to $2,500 per kilogram. Elon Musk and SpaceX are actually saving the U.S. taxpayer money by having a reusable rocket technology. It is amazing. If I was Jasmine Crockett, you can say one of two things. You can say either she doesn't know this, which is embarrassing because she's a congresswoman, or she knows it and she's willing to be a sacrificial black crash dummy and put herself out there and lie about it. Okay. So SpaceX is actually creating value for the American taxpayer. Starlink is a system that put Western North Carolina back into a position where they could communicate when the US government wouldn't do it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what Elon Musk and his companies have brought to this country has been immeasurable in terms of the value that it's created for us and put us ahead, especially in space transportation technology, beyond any other country or company in the world.
Right. Yeah. Not only that, but she's lying. So first of all, she literally said he was living off of the government welfare. Elon Musk was a billionaire with a B before he even got involved with the government. Okay. Now, the little bit of money that she actually quoted, she said he was 300 million. He got a contract recently for $300 million. That is nothing compared to his net worth. And I know that's hard for us to understand, but the man is worth over $400 billion. $300 million ain't nothing to him.
Right.
So what is she talking about? He is living off of the government welfare system. What is she talking? She's lying.
She like you said, I'm going to go like Tyrone said, either she doesn't know. How about all these? There have been a number, and we still have them. We still use them. Raytheon, Boeing, other companies that contract with the government to make weapons, military, space weapons, things like that. So this is nothing out of the norm. That's number one. Number two, if I have my fiscal years correct, you know how they play with the time and the calendars. The federal fiscal year starts October the 1st. So fiscal year 2025 started October the 1st, 2024. Who was the president? I mean, I don't know either. We think it was Biden, but but so that means not only that, it would have been signed the year before to be effective on October the 1st. So they like to play with the calendar and the dates and the times, whatever. So let's just put those facts out there. Maybe she's confused about that too, but I'm not. So again, Elon Musk, all these other contractors, but not only are they providing value as far as a space and weapons, but the value is innumerable because there is protective for the United States defense.
And not only that, real quick, I think what she's actually referring to with the $300 million is the request that the Biden administration put a bid out there for armored electric vehicles. Okay. So Tesla bid for that. Turns out no other EV company submitted a bid. So the State Department under Biden preliminarily gave it to Tesla. They make cars. They bid for the work. They were the only bidder. They got it. Then Trump came along, canceled the deal. But what the hell do I look like in front of my shareholders if there's a bid and I don't bid for something that we make? Okay. If you guys in the zeitgeist don't like $400 million of armored EVs, vote them out, which is what happened. And Trump, the new president, canceled the deal.
Absolutely. Dina, one of the things I think that we're losing sight of with Ms. Crockett is, again, and I keep harping on this, is the Democrats are scrambling to find some sort of somebody who can be their leader. So if you take a look at Jasmine Crockett 6 months ago, and if you think she's, a little extra now, you should have saw her then. They've cleaned her up. They've dusted her off. They've gave her some handouts and props and that kind of thing. And honey, it's still not working. It is still not working. She's a whole attorney, so words are her business. She knows exactly what she's saying and how she's shading those words. And the problem that she's going to have with Elon Musk is find me his natural competition. Find me his natural competition. You find me the guy who's going to go out and catch a rocket in his hand like a second baseman on a fly ball. Show me that dude, then we can sit down and have that conversation. But as long as he's the only guy in the space, so the United States should not use that technology, miss me. And you want to talk about somebody on the government grift, girl, who you work for? Where you get your check? And how much work have you done?
Right.
You better thank the taxpayer.
Right.
Those are
want to know.
Those are taxpayer-funded weaves. You're right.
Yeah.
Questions came out of Tyrone's IRS account. That's what that is. Let me tell you, she has got a lot of nerve, and it takes a lot of nerve to scrap your way up to the top in the Democrat Party. It takes a lot of hair pulling, a lot of eyelash flapping to get to the top when you have the likes of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters, who've been sitting in those seats so long that their booty print is indented in those seats.
And
so
look, I want to jump in. We have somebody, a super chatter here. Gimpy says this woman is ratchet and unfit for civil service. Wow.
She's a lot. She's a lot, but you have to be. I mean, how do you get to the top? In Republican circles, you work really hard. You work really hard and you get in front of the right people. You say the right things. You put your name on a ballot and you throw up in your mask when you're getting elected the first time. That was my experience, right? But then it gets easier because you stand on your product and you stand on your work. When you have someone who's saying, well, no one here really is doing anything. How do I get to the top? Well, let me look a little bit more soothing to the American public and change my words a little bit. But her politics haven't changed. Mm-hmm. She's the same old girl. You can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Yeah, she's awful. She's awful. And, you know, it's obvious that these Democrats are grasping at straws. They are trying every way they can to get the American people's eyes off of Doge, off of what they are uncovering, and onto nonsense. This is the Democrat game plan time and time again. They don't want us on information, on data, on numbers. They want us on stupid stuff, you know, emotionalizing. Everything's racist, white privilege, white superiority, supremacy, yeah, and all this type of stuff. This is what they want us to look at, to keep us off of what is actually important. Because if we find out that they are grifting us, they know it's going to be all hell to pay. At least I hope we're smart enough to do, you know, people to see what they're doing and say, well, I can't vote for these people because they're stealing from us. They're stealing.
And so they're laughing at us while they do it. Right. They're quite literally going, aha, he found it. Oh, well, we're going to talk about his son. You know, his son has a funny name. Ha, ha, ha. Like, we're not here for any of this diversion. I want to know. My whole life, we've been hearing that Social Security was bankrupt. Social Security is bankrupt. You'll never get your money out of Social Security. It's like they were grooming us. Right. From middle school up, that the money that we've paid into the system is not going to be available to us because baby boomers. Yeah, I was so young, I didn't know what a baby boomer was, but I hated them off the top because here I am, you know, 16, selling hard lines at Sears, never going to see any of this damn money back, right? Absolutely. Well, you take a look now, and they've been giving it to transgenders in Guatemala and the other foolishness. Wow. I mean, as an American, that should make your blood boil. It really should.
I've been boiling for many years. You said they were grooming us, Nicole. I'm going to change the language. All you Puritans out there, close your ears. They were fiscally fucking us.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you gotta, you have to. This is what it was. And we should all be raw by now, raw on the inside and sick and tired of it. You know, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good to any of us. And we should be spitting mad that they have been doing this. And I really hope the American people are taking note to all of this. They're not falling for their grift and their games and their diversions, and that we're going to stay on them like a boot on the neck. I'm hoping that Doge continues to uncover all this stuff. Now, with that being said, we do need to, I would like to talk about this breaking news surrounding Elon Musk, because we are conservatives, are we not? You know, we are conservatives. And it has been noted recently that a conservative influencer claims she gave birth to a child fathered by Elon Musk in a shocking public declaration on social media. Now, of course, the left has really tried to push this. We do have another super chatter here. Chadwick, Reeves, and Frazier says, hit that like button for Shelley's fiscal effing. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You know, Shelley, she is off the chain, folks. If you're new here, this is our Shelley. She doesn't play around. She's a very well-spoken woman, very highly noted for alliteration. And this
absolutely, her alliteration is world class.
Right.
You know, Shelley's alliteration is so world class that we have a T-shirt that says "the Butch Bitch Bishop," something like that. somewhere along the line, you can get yourself one of those t-shirts and walk around and help liberals' heads explode. You can collect them in your Pop and Politics mug. You could just have a mug full of tears, right? We have some tremendous merchandise. And the reason why we push our merchandise is because we want people to know that there's another type of media. You don't have to watch legacy media. You can come here, join the conversation, like, subscribe, get in the chat, super chat us, and we're happy to have you as a part of the Pop family. Wear your Pop merchandise, represent us well in the streets, get that classic white. I just keep screaming, the classic white. It's the finest. It's the finest. Get yourself the hoodie, get yourself a hat and a mug, go to work, and make sure people know what you're working with. We're cool now, so we might as well floss, right? Let's flex on them a little bit.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Old bully bitch is the one we would have there. That was the one that Shelley coined for the National Cathedral bishop that tried to scorn President Trump and J.D. Vance. Now, but to change pages a little bit, I want to talk about this news about Elon Musk. So the left stream media has been all over this. So author Ashley St. Clair alleged on an X post on Friday night that she and Elon Musk share a 5-month-old child. She wrote, 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. Read her statement, which was captioned Alecta S, Latin for the die is cast. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so, regardless of the harm it will cause. Now, St. Clair wrote, I intend to allow our child to grow in a normal and safe environment. For that reason, I ask that the media honor our child's privacy and refrain from invasive reporting. Musk has not acknowledged St. Clair's claim. The New York Post, has reached out to his lawyer for confirmation. The Doge chief, who follows St. Clair on the platform, posted several times on other subjects since she has come out and confirmed this. But he has not said anything about her announcement. So it is confirmed that the baby would be Musk's 13th child. So this will be 13. He has 12. This will be number 13 with 4 different women. So let's talk about it. I want to start off with you, Shelley. You know, should this be something that conservatives address? You know, are conservatives who talk about fatherlessness, because we do talk about fatherlessness a lot, in out of wedlock families in the Black community, we do, but remain silent on this, on Elon Musk. Is this being hypocritical?
All right, so I'm going to say this. Number one, I think we overuse the word hypocrites. I'm going to address your question. And when I say that, I've used it, we all use it. Hypocrite has more to do about your own behavior than it does somebody else's. That's number one. Number two, yes, we should still talk about the importance of having fathers and mothers and dads raise children. That shouldn't change. That's just a standard. That should be what we talk about. And we should, if you want to say, call it out, whatever. Yes, we should. If we can do it for one, we can do it for the other. And I still support Elon. I still support Trump. So that's not going to change either. 2, 3 things can be right at the same time, or can all be in play at the same time. Having said that, I don't know, the baby or whatever. I don't know what the media, well, I do know what they're doing. They're trying to embarrass Elon and this woman and of course the child. But absolutely, we have a president. There's no harm. I'm not putting Trump down. I voted for him 3 times. I still love him. He had children out of wedlock, if you will. I'm sorry, take that back. He was married to all the women he had children with, right? But he still has children by several different women, whatever the circumstances were, and we know some of them from history. However, that does not mean he cannot govern. It does not mean Elon Musk cannot find the fraud, waste, and abuse. It has something to do maybe with his personal decisions, maybe his personal character. But I'm separating those two. That does not mean that we do not have to talk about it, or that we should not talk about it, because we support them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what's your thoughts on this, Nicole?
Listen, just because he doesn't live in the house does not mean he's not parenting these children. You know, I have a bunch of friends that are men that have children with women that they're no longer with, that they parent these children still. They're still their father. They're still active in their lives. They still show up. Does it make me wonder why Elon's not married? No, I think Elon probably pretty hard to be married too. I'm just going to be honest with you. Just from looking at not the way he looks, but the way he conducts himself, he may be a little bit of a difficult, you know, little jagged pill. You never know. But understand that this man's got enough money to take care of these 13 kids, plus all 100 friends of theirs easily. Money doesn't raise children, time does. I'm remembering last week when he brought X to the Oval Office, and X laid his little head on top of the Resolute desk. Now, I've been a Politico for many, many years. I have had the good grace of going to the Oval Office. They cordon that thing off, so I can't go over there and touch that button where Trump pushes it and gets himself a delightful Diet Coke. They cordon it off so you can't go over there. But here is this man with his child, just kind of all over the Oval Office, rolling on the carpet, having a good time like children do. That kind of looks like fatherhood to me. It looks like he actually cares. It really does. So this may not be something that, as a conservative person, do I want to hold Elon up as a bastion of husbandry? Probably not. Not what we're going for there. But he looks like he's a fairly reasonable father. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think these children are missing much. You know, they were at the rocket launch and all that kind of thing. That's a pretty cool life for a kid. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what are your thoughts on this, Tyrone? And not so much of, because, you know, as part of you're Catholic, you know, and we talk about the conservatives, and, you know, yeah, he may be a great father, but what happened to marrying these women or woman, making wives out of these women? Isn't that something we should still be kind of pushing these days? You know, marriage before the baby. Even if he is a great father, you know, is this what ideal to, you know, have 13 kids with 4 different moms?
Well, ideally, you know, for our society, we want to see stable families, marriages. Elon has been married 3 times. I think that, you know, he is a unique personality. And, you know, I take my hat off to Sarita every day, you know, because I'm an eccentric, very difficult person to be around for any sustained period of time, let alone 25 years. Okay. So I get it, you know. I think though that the issue here is, you know, sure, we want to see nuclear families, right? But I think the real issue that's getting lost here, and conservatives, just like a lot of liberals, a lot of conservatives are bad at nuance. A lot of conservatives are binary in their thinking. Okay, so if you decide you don't want to take the vaccine, then you're anti-vax. Okay, it can't be, oh, I just need some more information, right?
Right.
So with this issue, it's less about Elon per se, because he obviously has the resources to raise these children. And which I've read a lot about Elon Musk, and he's always got his kids with him. Okay. He's always got his kids with him. So the thing is, though, libs of TikTok, James O'Keefe, quite a few conservative pundits who have come out previously and been staunch advocates for, you know, against rather single parent households, are celebrating his new edition. Okay. And I think that's where a lot of the consternation lies. It's not necessarily hypocrisy with Elon, but hypocrisy with certain elements of conservative Inc. who have said one thing in the past, and now when it's Elon, it seems to be something different. And again, bad.
What you mean? I'm sorry, say that again. What do you? They're doing what now?
You got Dave Rubin, libs of TikTok, James O'Keefe, all lauded and celebrated. You know, hey, Elon, good, congratulations. But like I said in my Facebook post the other day, if Lil Darius and Shaquita had a kid, and or Lupe and Juan Fernando, if they had a kid and they weren't married and it was a single parent situation, these same individuals have castigated that. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they've got to be morally consistent. And although Elon is definitely in a financial position that is different from 99.999% of the other humans on the planet, still just be morally consistent with your ideals.
Yeah, this is something that, Allie B. Stuckey, she's a very popular conservative YouTuber and influencer. And she said, if you're worried about the depopulation crisis, your first order of business is to get married, then have lots of kids. We don't just need more babies. We need more stable families. And she's been pretty consistent along that line. She's ones. Jay Hunter with the $5 super chat says Dems are trying to deflect from the job he's doing because they're getting exposed. And I agree there. As well. Yeah.
He's doing an excellent job. I mean, we have found out in the last 3 weeks. Oh, wow. What are we at? $1 trillion of, lost money that he's doing? I mean, this is phenomenal. And I think that he and Trump are the only people that were capable of getting this done. Okay. So that's true. And he should be celebrated for that. However, that does not exempt him from having a critical eye cast on him in other aspects of his public life.
Absolutely.
And I think we just have to remember, again, I agree with you, Tyra. I totally agree with that. We also have to remember that, first of all, these are human beings, right? Number one. Number two, we're not putting them in office to be our priest or shepherd or our moral leader. And I still say, yes, we can talk about the downfalls, if you will, of not having a father in the home. We should still talk about that because that's just true as well, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't also acknowledge the necessary and good job that they're doing in the sphere where they are.
Yep.
Agreed.
Absolutely. And we got a $20 super chat here from Nancy. Says, I enjoy your content. Tonight is no different. Thanks. Thank you, Nance. We certainly appreciate every super chat you guys send in. Thank you all so much. Keep them coming if you can, and certainly appreciate everyone. So thank you. What were you saying, Nicole?
So I was just agreeing with what Shelley was saying. There was a time in American politics where you had to be basically born in a bubble, lived in the bubble your whole life, and kind of walk on water next to Jesus in order to get elected. You had to be this perfect person. And then people were shocked and awed and clutching pearls when they found out that you were just a regular Joe Schmo. You and your wife don't like each other. You haven't liked each other for years, and you're only married for political expediency. Obama's. I didn't say that out loud, right? So there's a lot of, on the Democrat side, that thing kind of still exists. We do need stable families. Make no mistake. We absolutely need stable families, and conservatives, we absolutely believe in that. But we also don't need people in relationships and marriages that don't work. I mean, Tyrone, you think you're a pill. Imagine being married to Elon. Imagine coming home to that every day. Elon would wake up dead. I'd have to smother him. He wouldn't make it. He just would not make it. Everything is not for everybody. When we look at celebrities that have a bunch of children, Nick Cannon and all of his kids, he's basically, on welfare compared to Elon Musk. There are lots of guys who have a bunch of children, but we can't say because you have these children and you did it in a way that we don't like, now the work that you've done doesn't count. This is where Shelley is 100% right. Many things can be correct at one time. Elon's personal life is Elon's personal life. His public life has got the Democrat Party on the ropes, and he's got them in a chokehold, and he's putting that chokehold down, and he's not letting up. And I can see why they're looking for anything to try to bring this man down.
And again, I think this
before you jump in, we got this super chat here from Chantha Hansana for the $5 super chat. Says Elon is reincarnation of Genghis Khan is all good. He loves beautiful women. It is just a lifestyle, is neither good or bad, just humor. All right. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yes.
Look,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
We've got to remember, let's just emphasize that the issue here, the way this came up was the hypocrisy in
exactly
conservative voices. Okay. The other thing is this, and this is also true. Yes, ideally, a father in the home is good, but there are some fathers out there that you don't want in your home. Okay, that would be detrimental to the lives of their children. So I think that we have to take into account that Elon, I mean, talk about a good father. It's not just, he's not one of these, oh, he's rich, so he's a good father. When you see him interact with his kids, he genuinely loves his kids. Okay. This isn't like, JP Morgan and his father, where it was like, yeah, I'm gonna teach him how to make some money, but other than that, there's no real love here,
Right.
So you might have a father who is not in the ideal nuclear situation that is 10 times more beneficial, may not even have any money to speak of, but it's 10 times more beneficial than a father that is in the home that is destructive to the family.
Well, let me tell you where I ultimately
here. Jay Hunter Lee with the $5 super chat says it's broken polygamy. If you're going to do it right. All right.
Thank you. Well, let me tell you this again. As many children as you mentioned, Nick Cannon, Nicole, and Elon Musk, and all these other people, I don't care what their skin color is, whatever. Ultimately, for me, the ones you have, take care of them. I want my money back. I don't want to take care of yours. I don't care if you have 1. I don't care if you have 15. I don't want to take care of them. If you can take care of them, yes, again, it's important for you to be there for your kid. But if you can afford them to take care of them, that's all that matters to me. Because I'm like the guy, I think it's Steph in our chat. I want my $250,000 back.
Right. Exactly.
That part.
Well, I want to move on here because, again, like we said, these Democrats, these leftists, all they like to do is to try to get us to, look over here at something else, look over here and not really keep our eye on the important things. And another thing that they did, which was, I believe, was sat over the weekend, was SNL, Saturday Night Live. So Tom Hanks got roasted over a disgusting portrayal of a Trump supporter. And this isn't new, but this is what they do. So he was basically the 2-time Academy Award winner, returned to the stage Sunday night as Doug. So a dumb MAGA hat wearing contestant on the recurring bit Black Jeopardy, where the butt of the joke is Hank's character and the Black contestants discovering their similarities. So during the sketch, Doug who first appeared on the comedy show in 2016, refused to shake hands with the game show host Darnell Hayes, played by SNL's Kenan Thompson. So, of course, they had this caricature of a Trump supporter, and basically they were, making it a very nasty portrayal of a Trump supporter. So, did any of you catch this clip or the skit? What do you think, Nicole?
It's typical. It's elitist. It's comedy for elitists on an elitist network, and they haven't learned a lesson. And let me tell you, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them not knowing. I'm okay with them sticking their head in the sand, doubling down on dumb. I'm okay with all of that because I know Republican legislators that are lining up for that seat at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They can continue to call us dumb, backward. If you notice in the clip, his clothes are kind of dirty and dingy and dank looking. They treat regular standard issue Americans like we're well beneath them.
Wow.
And that's a problem. And this is how they got their asses kicked in that election. But keep doing it because America's definitely watching. You'll continue to get your ass kicked. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Shelley, I mean, I guarantee you 99% of these leftist nuts have never even been to a Trump rally, have never been to any type of MAGA event, and they sit in their gated communities just, talking about all of us, and they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. They see us this way. Most of America, they see us outside of their gated communities. This is what they think of us. So what he was acting, but he was really playing a real part. Because this is what they think. And on the left, haven't we heard for, I don't know how long, at least 10 years or more, cultural appropriation is wrong. You can't mock people. When, they tried to say Trump was mocking the handicapped guy during his first administration. You can't do all of that. That's racist and that's sexist and ageist and all that stuff. But this is okay. This is okay. Not only is it okay, it's okay because he's portraying a white guy, which makes it doubly okay. So they think we're dumb. I think Herman Cain, rest in peace, said it best. They think we're stupid.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, Tyrone. Wasn't it Obama who made that comment about how Republicans or MAGA supporters, something about they cling to their guns and their Bibles? Do you remember what did he say?
Yeah, that was Obama. He said exactly that. Or, we cling to our guns and our Bibles. And you're right. Okay, I'll take that. Our God is not the United States government, which is who Obama would love our deity to be. Saturday Night Live, I haven't watched the show since the 90s, back when Phil Hartman, Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer and the Ladies Man. That's the last time this stuff was funny. It hasn't been. It's just political tripe. Okay, Tom Hanks. Look, we need to get that Epstein list out there. Probably shut him up. And I thought that wasn't he supposed to be leaving the country?
No, they never do.
Trump was elected, right? So he's just another elitist court jester who, if it wasn't for the fact that they pay big money to be in the movies, hell, Tom Hanks might be down at Our Daily Bread trying to get a bowl of soup right now. This is what I think of these people. He's trash.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, on another note, and before I do, I want to acknowledge this super chatter. Brian Harkin says all Joe Biden ever said to Hunter was pardon. Yeah. That's true. That's absolutely true.
He's got
another super chatter here, actually a Cash App from Raymond Strickland, $10 Cash App. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ray.
Yes, we certainly appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, you're right, and that's the case. So these people are just they don't have any they don't have any sense of reality, no sense of what everyday Americans go through, and they just want to really use all of us, so they can continue their elite status. So we'll continue to go there. But speaking of everyday Americans, let's talk about this Canadian brawl that took place. The hockey game, the Canadian-U.S. hockey game that just took place. So a heated atmosphere at the Bell Center on Sunday night saw Canadian hockey fans loudly boo the U.S. national anthem before the American team defeated Canada 3-1. All right. So they regret the day. I think they did that. So as the Royal Canadian Air Force member David Greenan began singing the Star Spangled Banner, Canadian fans erupted into boos in an apparent attempt to drown out the anthem. By the end of the song, U.S. fans tried to make their voices heard, but were overpowered by Canadians in attendance. So this was a really tough game. I mean, I'm not really a huge hockey. They started out like that, where they started out fighting. 3 separate fights erupted just 9 seconds into the game. There it is. And this has continued throughout. I mean, they took a beating. So what are your thoughts on this? I'll start with you, Tyrone. I mean, this is crazy.
First of all, the guy that sang it did an awesome job.
Okay.
And he was undeterred even through the booing. It was weird because he is a Canadian service member, but they still boo. But he did a great job. So hats off to him. Look, the hockey team, the American hockey team, basically demonstrated to the Canadian hockey team what it would be like for them if the United States weren't here as their big brother. Okay. They would be speaking either Russian, Japanese, or German right now. Look, Canada, beautiful place, got a lot of beautiful people in it, but they got a lot of lefty loons there as well. And they don't understand the fact that the United States of America, even though we're neighbors, we're not on par. You're not our equal. We are a $30 trillion economy. You're a $2 trillion economy. Remember when the balloon fiasco was going on and one came into Canada? They had to call us to go up there and take care of that. Okay. And we did. They've got 77,000 military personnel, including their reserves. We have 1 million Boy Scouts. Okay. So we're not, I mean, settle down. Okay. Settle down. And you should be honored that we would even consider thinking of you as a 51st state, quite frankly. And I know that might sound arrogant to some, but look, we've done more. America has done more. The United States of America has done more with its destiny than Canada has with theirs. Okay. And part of the reason for that is because they are still kind of linked to the UK. And the UK is a power that has sunsetted. All right. So brass tacks, let that be a lesson. Don't ever boo our national anthem again, or we'll just come up there. We got lollipops and ass whippings to hand out, and we're fresh out of lollipops.
Nicole, what you think of it? I know you're a hockey fan.
I am. I'm a huge hockey fan. And, growing up in Pittsburgh, we had football, baseball, and hockey, no basketball. And hockey season's long. It's a long season. Most of the hits that they showed are typical things that happen in hockey. But the first fight, now that was some USA ass whooping. That's what that was. That was like, are you going to boo us, drop these gloves, and come take this L? But it was a really good game. And I think, God bless the Canadians, bless their little hearts. Honey, this is not the smoke you want. This is not, it's not the smoke you want. We kicked their butts all over the ice in the game and in the fights in the game. But that's how hockey is played. You get the 2-minute minor, you sit in the box, you rest your legs and get your life together and come right back out there and play the game again. But there was something extra special about the ass whoopings that happened. There was something that just, probably it was the free bird that they played after every goal that just had you jumping up going, USA, USA. It was so sweet and so delicious. And I think now, short of Tyrone's lollipops and ass kicking, I think Canada's got the message. I think they've definitely got the message now. I'd love to see it.
Yeah. We got a super chatter here. Chantha again with the $5 super chat said, did you mention about the stolen security? Did I miss it? We did mention it a little bit in the beginning of the show, and we're going to
Social Security.
Yeah, Social Security. Yes, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more in a moment. Shelly, what you think about that game?
Well, I'm not a hockey fan, but what it said to me was testosterone is back in style. I mean, I loved it. It was funny. I know I shouldn't be laughing. They're brawling on the ice. It's supposed to be sports, and you want to have character and all that stuff. But damn it, I thought them guys looked really good out there brawling each other. I mean, they just look good anyway on that ice. So I love that. Not only that, I think it gave the message to Canada that we are, as a country anyway, particularly you guys, they love President Trump. President Trump has spearheaded, I guess, the return of real masculinity, and that testosterone is a good damn thing to have. We can go physically toe to toe on a hockey rink, or we can do like President Trump is doing around the world, taking America to every country where we set our feet and saying, we're here, we're showing up, America is going to be first, and we are going to make America great again. No apologies, no excuses, on purpose.
And Justin Trudeau was in the audience. He witnessed that happen to his country.
That was even better.
All right. And so, and meanwhile, we got Trump doing laps around the Daytona 500 speed.
That's right.
The beast. That was so cool. That was so good.
It was so cool. It was so
breaking
cool.
news out, folks. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says she might remove NYC Mayor Adams after he assisted on deportations. So she just put out a statement from the office of the governor. Says, earlier today, I spoke with First Deputy Mayor Maria Torres Springer to express my gratitude for her years of service to New York City. She, along with Deputy Mayors Ann Williams, Isam, Mira, Joshi, and Chauncey Parker, have been strong partners with my administration across dozens of key issues. If they feel unable to serve in City Hall at this time, that raises serious questions about the long-term future of this mayoral administration. So she says, let me be clear, my most urgent concern is the well-being of my 8.3 million constituents who live in New York City. I will be monitoring this situation extraordinarily closely to ensure that the New Yorkers are not being shortchanged by the current crisis in city government.
Wow. So listen up, Democrats.
She's sliding, talking about thin ice. She's going to be on thin ice.
Right. Because Adams, whether you like him or not, was duly elected by the people of New York City. Okay. Now, let's not forget, Hochul is the type of person who, this conversation our black cells are having on this electronic medium, Hochul doesn't even believe that we know how to use computers. Right. Okay. So go ahead and remove this duly elected mayor and just prove to the world what the Democrat Party really is. They talk all this shit about democracy and they do not believe in it one iota.
Listen, that would be the end of it. That would be the death knell because he's one of their protected class. He's a black man. Are you serious? You mean this white woman, Kathy Hochul, is going to remove New York's black male mayor?
Yep.
Not in today's Democrat Party, she's not. But this is the reason why Hakeem Jeffries didn't have an answer to that question. Again, they need everybody to fall in line. And the people who don't fall in line, they're taking their heads. They are taking their heads. But she's up against the right one for that one because he's got enough social media presence. Yeah, that would be a
apparently they're saying something has occurred. So I don't know if you guys have been following
the last 2 weeks. That's what I was going to say. Whatever's going on the last 2 weeks.
Something tonight. So apparently, key leaders what's today, Monday, right? So has assembled key leaders for a series of meetings Tuesday at her Manhattan. Okay, so this was been last week. Hochul announced the dramatic move in a Monday night statement and cited the troubling allegations swirling around Adams the shocking resignations of his 4 crucial aides. So there's somebody.
He's talking about basically on the last 2 weeks when he had people that resigned, and he's talking about whatever's been going on the last 2 weeks. Notice, well, at least what I'm reading right now, based on this coming out, she's not saying anything about the cases that were just dropped, right? So it's something within she's trying to hone in on a specific time period so she can build her case. She's going to be on thin ice. This is I predict that this is going to blow over very badly for her if she does this.
And here's what this is about. This is about that $80 million clawback. That money was in campaign accounts. It had been dispersed to all of the usual suspects.
Including
the federal government took the money back and they are pissed off about it. That's what
it is. Money again. They don't like when you mess with their money.
Right.
Well, it's not even their money. It's not. That's the thing.
Right.
It's FEMA money. It's FEMA money. Right. And they're not having a FEMA style emergency. You know, they chose to be a sanctuary city inside of a sanctuary state. Then you foot the bill for the thrill, homeboy. That's not on the rest of us. And she needs New York City politically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
she loses New York City, she loses her head.
She's blaming him for helping the feds with the illegals. So that's why they took the 80 million. So that's what she's saying. She's blaming. This is part of her argument. That's what you're saying, Tyrone, right?
Right. He should go into the office tomorrow morning and he should say, damn it, I'm a Republican now. Because they're going to do everything they can they're even throwing in disgraced Cuomo as a possible contender for the mayor's office. Okay. So they're that desperate. But again, this is nothing but that money was spent and now they don't have it anymore and they're putting it on him.
Yeah, I told him to go in. He should use the race card.
Outrage.
He should use the race card. Exactly, KJ. He should use the race card.
You used to have anytime something goes against a black person, you would have BLM, the Democrats would all go, rally behind it and everything. Now they're leaving him out, just really scrape for himself, all because he exposed the money grift.
Exactly.
That's it.
This is what it is.
I hope he uses the race card. He should go. This is his party. He should come and have a conference and say, I'm a black man. I'm a black mayor. And these people, my party, this is what he should do. Expose it all.
Yeah. We have
He should
$2 super chat from Jay Hunter Lee, who said she's trying to use lawfare. Yeah. Yeah. Right, Jay. You're right. This is their game plan. So they can't get him any other way now. Well, they tried to get him with the lawfare initially. Trump got him off, and now they're just trying to do it again. Now they're trying to get rid of him out of the office. That's crazy.
And don't be surprised if Letitia James tries to come up with some state charges on him.
Absolutely.
We'll find something. She'll dig something on.
Absolutely.
Folks, I hope everybody's paying attention to this. I hope you all are paying attention to this. These people are crooks. They're crooks. Elmer, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says Democrats are in shambles. They hate what is right for America. Absolutely.
Absolutely. They're on their back foot. They really are. And when I tell you that Elon, by the time Doge finishes its work, it's going to be hard to claim that party. It is going to be hard to claim that party because they're not, from a political standpoint, and I'm not trying to help them too much, but from a political standpoint, somebody in that party, somebody needs to stand up and say, you know what, they're right. We're wasting too much money. I'm going to help. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I'm going to help. The American people would look at them differently, but they're complaining about him finding things, which tells me that he needs to keep digging because he's close to something. He's close to something.
Oh yeah, well the next is the Pentagon, and that's I think is going to be the big thing. And I pray that they go after the voting system next as well. They need to fix these mail-in voting, 30-day voting, all of it. We need to go back to where it was pre-COVID. No more of this mail-in voting, for the whole month or so. No more for we need to have paper ballots available in all of these states. Fix this stuff on the books so that we can have a decent voting system.
I want another the IRS. Let's go. Let's get that IRS.
Yeah. Jay, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, Letitia James better watch it herself and Calvin Bragg, Alvin Bragg. Right. Oh, yeah.
Somebody, KJ, somebody in the comments put a comment in there saying that Letitia needs to watch out because Pam Bondi is going to be on her and Bragg, right? And this makes me think now Kathy Hochul needs to get Adams out so that he won't have access to the files because I think Adams is going to cooperate with Pam Bondi in any other investigation. So this thing has a lot of layers. Kathy Hochul, her and Letitia Bragg, they still think they got all this power. I think they marking up the wrong tree.
I hope so. I want it to be for the world to see these people fall from grace as if they ever were in grace. But they really need a shellacking, a public shellacking. I want to see these people on trial. I want it to be public display of it. Like they tried to do President Trump. Actually, almost succeeded. So, all All right. So speaking of this stuff here, we have something going on at the Kennedy Center. So I don't know if you guys have been following this. So President Trump recently got rid of the chair of the Kennedy Center due to the fact that they were holding like drag queen shows and stuff there. And then these shows were actually geared towards children, among other things. The place had become really woke. And so he removed a lot of the board and the chairman and placed himself as chair of the board. Okay. Well, that didn't sit right with the leftists. So several entertainers announced that they were severing ties from the Kennedy Performing Arts Center in DC. That includes Shonda Rhimes, as you can see there. Also, Issa Rae. She is the star and creator of HBO's Insecure, another Black actress, announced on Instagram she was canceling her upcoming sold-out performance. And the list goes on. Ben Folds, singer-songwriter Ben Folds, said he was resigning as an advisor to the National Symphony Orchestra. The rock band Low Cut Connie also pulled out of their scheduled performance. So my question to you all, Nicole, do you think this is going to be the end of the Kennedy Center?
No, it's the return of the arts that all of America can respond to. Like just this past weekend, if you're a go-go fan, if you're from DC, Backyard performed with Back Alley at the Kennedy Center. And from what I understand, it was sold out and the house was rocking and everybody had a great time, right? There's one way to look at this. And these are people who are saying, politically, I don't agree with you, so I'm taking my talent and going home. I say good riddance. Keep your talent with you. Stay out there on the left coast. If I had my way, it'd fall off the rest of the United States and you'd be an island full of little weirdos. We don't need to have that. We don't want our children indoctrinated. And I don't know what it's going to take for you to understand that, but you losing the revenue and the notoriety of being at the Kennedy Center is just what you deserve. Keep it to yourself, fam.
Yeah. We have a super chatter here from Tijuana Border Jumper with a $10 super chat. Says late, but liked and shared. Thanks for sharing the truth. Thank you so much, Tijuana. Yes, indeed. And folks, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. Please hit that like button. That helps to amplify our voice here on YouTube. So thank you so much. Also want to shout out Just the Guys podcast is in the chat tonight. That is one of our brother stations here on YouTube, Just the Guys podcast. You can catch them every Saturday evening at 6:30 p.m. So certainly go over there and subscribe. They provide you with conservative content from a male perspective. Right here, Soldiers of Finance, Tyrone is part of the Just the Guys podcast. So you guys, you got to check them out. They're awesome. Really good content. Yeah. So what are you thinking on this Soldiers of Finance? You think it's going to be the end of the Kennedy Center?
Oh, no, not by a long shot. It's just the end of a little weird period of mania in history. We had, every now and then humanity goes through a little mania, like the Salem witch trials, that came and went, tulip mania. It happens every now and then. As far as these people who are bowing out, never heard of them. Okay. And these court jesters are a dime a dozen. Somebody will perform. But what I think is more important here is that the right is recapturing the culture. Okay. The Democrats and liberals, literally, they're weirdos in a lot of cases. These are folk that you would cross the street if you saw them coming, case in point, they're upset that they can't take children to see adult themed performances. That's what the left is. Meanwhile, again, Donald Trump is doing laps in the Beast around the Daytona 500 Speedway.
That was amazing. That was so amazing.
One is flying overhead. All right.
With his grandkids in the car. Yeah, Shelly, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? We have another super chat for you say this. We have Lady Shinobi with the $5 super chat says, futures are bright with Team MAGA. Yeah,
Amen.
Shelly, I mean, do you agree? Are futures bright, or are we going to be missing something with these?
Wait a minute, I'm missing something right now. I'm looking for it. I'm trying to find my tears. That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find my tears. So I'll let you know when I find them, or if you find them, let me know, and I'll come and get them from you. I don't care. Okay, I know this Kennedy Center has, a cultural significance. It's been since 1950 something or whatever when it was instituted. I don't care. I say all these people, all these dignitaries, they can buy a ticket at the Hippodrome or Alvin Ailey Theater. They can buy tickets to go see whatever cultural event they want in any state, in any amphitheater across our country. I don't care. I'm sick of my money going to all of this government fluff. I'm sick of it. If we didn't have a Kennedy Center, if we didn't have one, I don't think we would be any worse for it. Having said that, I love the arts. I'm not against culture. I like museums. I like dance shows. I'm for it. I'm just tired of my money paying for it, and I don't get to go see it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. We have another super chat here. All right. Thank you all so much. Jay says, hey, KJ, pull up Article 1, Section 5 of the Constitution real quick. Then think about what AOC did. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Jay. Yes. I wonder what he's referring to there. I don't know.
It's Congress's powers to govern itself is what that particular section talks about. I don't know.
What did AOC just do? Did she do something recently? Okay.
She was being accused. Well, I didn't hear what she said, but she apparently, from what the report's saying, she was telling illegals how to basically come in illegally.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. These people should be jailed. And apparently Tom Homan came out and said that they were looking into it. He was going to defer, I should say, to Pam Bondi to see if it was something, or if it is something they can do to bring charges against her. And I really hope it is. I really do. So we want to change gears a little bit here. Speaking of freedom, somebody mentioned the Constitution, and speaking of freedom, let's talk about what's going on with Wendy Williams. So you guys know Wendy Williams is she was a longtime urban radio show host. Then she came out with a TV show, The Wendy Williams Show. And she was doing that for quite a while. She was on a high horse there. And then she had some health issues and she was put in a conservatorship. So footage of her sobbing and banging against the window of her room in an assisted living facility has shed light on the star's confined lifestyle now under her controversial guardianship. This is clip 4. Take a look.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your heart? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
Wendy Williams is locked in a room in an assisted living facility in New York. That's her. The only way I could interview her was to have a camera on the street because we can't get a camera in. She can't really have any visitors. She cannot go outside. She's been out twice in the last 30 days. She has no internet. She, and I think rightly says, she feels like a prisoner.
Tell me what your life has been like over the past year. What is it like?
Isolated. Where I am is this place where the people are older. You know what I'm saying? They are in their 90s and their 80s. I eat lunch and dinner in my bedroom. I don't eat out there with the people that live here just because it's so goddamn depressing. There's a bathroom, there's a closet, and the TV, which was purchased by me through the Guardian person.
Are you allowed to go out?
No, I am not allowed to go out. I can call you, but you can't call me.
What about communications? Do you have an iPad or some form of a computer?
I have not. Listen, I've asked the Guardian person for an iPad since years, it seems like, but an iPad. Can I please have my telephone back? Can I please be able to call, my family? What is the problem with me calling and talking to friends of mine? They're not allowed to come in here, friends of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Over the last, say, 30 days, how much time have you been able to spend outside in the fresh air?
In the last 30 days, I went out twice.
Wow. All right, so let's unpack this. We are all freedom-loving people here. What are your thoughts on this, Shelley?
First of all, it's very sad that to see her, I guess I'm going to call it decline. Her illness, just, her health, whatever's going on. That's number one. Number two, I don't know what kind of assisted living she was in, but the damn place looked like it was pretty upscale to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know too many assisted living places with the big kind of bay style windows, things like that, or wherever she was calling from. Maybe it was the congregation room, if you will. Having said that, because of her, I think her diagnosis, what I understand, is temporal dementia. She may or may not always be as coherent as she is on that call, right? This is just one time, a snippet. I don't know what time of day it was, what was going on. And I'm not saying that she has dementia. I haven't read her medical charts, but from what I've read, if this is her diagnosis, her dementia is not going to always be is showing her to be this coherent, this cognizant every moment of the day. As far as her going outside or not, I don't know the circumstances or whether or not she is quote unquote safe to go outside. If she has someone to accompany her when she goes outside, I don't know. But I did just read that she did go to see her dad in Florida, I think, for his birthday over the weekend.
Yeah. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
It's difficult when you are the family, the caretaker of people who have dementia, regardless of what part of the brain it affects. There are moments where they're incredibly lucid. And I say this as somebody who lost my father to dementia. There were moments where he was my father. He looked like him, he sounded like him. And then there were moments where all he wanted was cigarettes and the keys to my Mustang. And bad things were going to happen. I mean, bad things were going to happen. So it's hard. You have to take a hard line stance to protect them from themselves. Add in that Wendy had a significant and profound drug problem, not a little tiny drug problem. We're not talking about blowing a little weed in the back alley with her homies. No, she had a very serious drug problem. And most of the friends that she'd likely reach out to were likely the same people who were helping her with this drug problem. Her family is doing the best they can with the cards they've been dealt. Apparently, she's going to have an assessment by a doctor that everybody can agree to see if her diagnosis is correct. Now, it's difficult, again, because these moments of lucidity come and go. And I know she wants to be free. I don't know anybody who's on a dementia ward who doesn't want to be free. But we have to err on their safety. This is not the Britney Spears situation where her dad just wanted to make sure that she didn't drink and drug herself to death. This woman may have significant and profound illness and lives in New York City. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. New York City's not safe for people who got all their faculties, right? Not at all safe for people who have all their faculties. So you have someone who has celebrity, who people assume has money, and she's set free with half a brain in New York City. That's a recipe for disaster. Now, I'm not saying keep her locked up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm assured that that building has a beautiful courtyard, and it may not be as free as she would like to be, but until she can prove that she's not a harm to herself, her family is doing the right thing. It's hard. It's the toughest kind of love, but it's love that you have to have for your family members to protect them.
What are your thoughts on this, Soldiers of Finance?
Well, when you look at the footage, she appears to have herself made up. That window didn't have any bars on it, so I don't think she's in a situation where folk aren't allowed to just roam around the facility freely, and there's obviously no thinking that the people she's housed with are the type of danger to themselves where they're going to jump out of that window, because if that was the kind of place, it would have bars on the window. She wouldn't have access to it. Mm-hmm. So it's tragic, definitely, when someone declines in this fashion. And she is in New York City, but even if she was in some small town in Montana, if she's not in her right mind, it's actually going to be you're not doing her any favors at all by letting her live in an unsupervised situation. She could hurt herself. I think that it's tragic what she's going through. Anybody that has to face this. I was never a fan because I think she peddled a lot of negativity. But yeah, and you got to be careful with that in life, because if you do that, if you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss will stare back at you. But this situation, if there's a way to recover, I hope she does. I hope she does.
We have a super chatter here. Brown Eyes with the $5 super chat says, if her son had not stolen her money, she would not be in this situation. She should have the proper documents in place, especially being who she is. Thank you so much, Brown Eyes. So I guess you guys are going to be upset with me. And we kind of talked about this with the whole Britney Spears thing. First of all, these media types make me sick. They really, really make me sick, because honestly, they have no idea what is going on in this situation. They really don't. They know that Wendy Williams is a media personality that had a lot of clout in the big click, what do you call it? People clickbait. You say her name is going to get clicks. When she was out here drunk and high every day, slurring her words, they could plaster her across the TV and make money off of her making a fool out of herself. Now it's been a year or so. She looks better than she has ever looked. Like, she looks, since whatever is going on with her, same thing that happened to Britney. Okay, when they had Britney in the conservatorship, you didn't hear from Britney doing crazy stuff. She looked good. She talked like she had some sense. Same thing now with Wendy Williams. When you see her out in public, she's not drunk. She's not high. She looks good, and now she wants to get out. Same thing with Britney. She was talking well, looking well. Then she She wanted to get out, of course. The media made some big stink, free Britney or whatever. Now she's on Instagram every other day, butt naked with knives. Her kids are crying because of their mother is embarrassing them on TV. The woman is nuts. And they did the same thing to her, and now they're doing the same thing to Wendy Williams. We don't know what's going on with that. But just like you said, Nicole, I had to take care of my grandmother. My mom died.
My grandmother too.
My grandmother, right. And I had to take care of my grandmother after my mom died. She had terrible dementia. And like you said, there are times when they have very good days, but then there are times when they are all very, very, very bad days. Bad days. Nobody sees that. TMZ isn't seeing that.
Nope. And
No,
they
they're
don't
not.
care. And
They're
they
not.
don't care.
The one thing I would say, like I read, and when she did that interview, I think her niece or a guardian, whomever, was there in the room with her. So she's had somebody there with her, I guess, on quote unquote on her side. That's number one. Number two, if she is not demented or does not have some kind of mental illness where she's putting herself at risk, she has to be released. Whether or not I like her being drunk or slurring her words, she can do that. I mean, she's not hurting herself. She's not harming anyone else. Because Britney Spears, I said the same thing then. Because Britney Spears was loony into a certain degree, okay. But if she was in her right mind and choosing to do those things, she does not have to be locked up and have a conservatorship. Her kids need a guardian, yes. But as an adult, she can do that. I don't like it. It looks like you said it's embarrassing, but hey, that's what she gets to do. We don't just lock people up because they're an embarrassment to us.
Well, I think it was a lot more than an embarrassment. I mean, she has very deep mental health issues, Britney Spears, from years and years on drugs. She's never had her kids for the most part. We know that the dad is taking care of them. I mean, the list goes on. Again, we don't know what is going on in these homes. And so what happens is you get some type of fan base riled up, and then the media gets involved, creating these stories and narratives that we don't know if they're true or false. Then you generally have some type of family members that are aching for that money, and they know that you have someone like Wendy Williams, like Britney Spears, who, if they do get out of these conservatorships, they will ultimately get back on the drug dependency and stuff, and then they can be maneuvered and manipulated in any way.
But they're adults. How long are we supposed to lock them up if they are adults? I'm saying all things being equal. How long are we supposed to lock them up just because they are choosing to do drugs and drink or whatever? I mean, how long? They're adults. We can't just lock people up. Number one, we don't have the resources. Number two, they get to choose that. I'm glad her children are safe. Britney Spears had a guardian for her children. I hope Wendy Williams, I hope she is getting the care that she needs, particularly if she is demented. But if she is not, then she gets to come out and drink.
Absolutely. She has to be set free. And then those are her adult choices.
Exactly.
If she does not have dementia and it was, misdiagnosis because of her drug use, this is something that she's going to have to face those demons on her own. And prayerfully, this time being locked up has taught her a few things. And maybe, just maybe, it's enough to get her on a straight and narrow. But, here in the United States, you reserve the right to be as crazy as you want to be. That pursuit of happiness may not be someone else's happiness. Maybe she's happier with an 8-ball than she is with a Bible. That's her life. As she would say, how you doing? Right? That's on you, Wendy.
All right. Well, breaking news out, folks. Tom Homan is in an interview on Newsmax and just went in on AOC. Take a look at this. This is insane.
First of all, I think she's, I won't go after her on
Tom, please
TV
please do. Say what's on your mind. It's a holiday.
Look, she's the dumbest congresswoman ever elected to Congress, and she proves that every day. And look, bottom line is, I can't believe any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, Independent, would want to educate criminal illegal aliens who are in the country illegally, been convicted of a violent crime, and have been ordered removed by an immigration judge after due process at great taxpayer expense. You got a congressman or congresswoman that does not want ICE to do the job that Congress has mandated them to do and funds them to do. First of all, I think she's,
So, I mean, New York is on fire right now. Yeah, New York is, these Democrats, they are trying every way they can to stop these deportations. What is going on?
If you look at the chart of illegal border crossings, it's dropped by well over 90% since Trump came in office, right? And then we know that Catholic Charities, for example, was getting a whole lot of money to process and integrate these illegal immigrants. They weren't the only one, far from the only group getting that kind of money. So at the end of the day, this is disruption of a profitable business where the American people and the illegal aliens, were just pawns. Remember, they were supposed to be getting economic asylum, but when they got here, they were getting tent cities, right? But all of these 501c3s were getting paid and then funneling money back into campaign coffers and individuals' pockets. So what we're seeing here is the disruption of a big ass business, and the Democrats and their paymasters don't like it, because they can't win elections without this money.
Exactly.
And then, the census is coming, and the census doesn't say count American citizens. It says count how many people live in your district. So this is, AOC looking out, quote unquote, looking out for the money for her district. And you're going to hear a lot of that here in Maryland, in places that are here in Maryland that are sanctuary counties that are saying the same things. Oh, we're going to fight them tooth and nail. We'll sue them. We'll do this because, you lose half your population. Census time comes around. You're not getting that big old fat check anymore. You're going to have to actually govern on what you're supposed to have. And they're not accustomed to that. They are not accustomed to that.
Question. Now, aiding and abetting an illegal immigrant is a federal crime, right? Could we, as we being the Department of Justice, charge these folks under the RICO statute? Because it does seem like an organized effort.
It is organized.
It is organized.
Absolutely.
Across state lines too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
interstate commerce and all kinds of stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So some folks, I think they should, Pam Bondi and that gang down there should pursue that, because aiding and abetting illegal immigrants is a federal offense. And when you start to forensically account for all of this money, I think that, this organization looks a lot worse than La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's right. You got
they are so upset because, like you mentioned, Nicole, they have been stealing elections with this stuff. Their money is running out, and they know it. And they're doing everything they can to stop it. But my last question of the night to you all, how can we get this out to the masses, particularly to the Black community who vote 90% for these Democrats? Are they understanding? Are they connecting the dots that this is hurting them?
Well, one way we can get it out, number one, to our audience, we need you to share. We need you to subscribe. We need you to make this go viral. Share the link with anyone in your family, your friends. Just share it and let them know that, hey, just listen to this. You don't even have to be antagonistic about it. Hey, I got something we were talking about XYZ. Listen to these this show. Listen to these people on this show. Just see what you say. See what you think. That's one way, I guess, the best way. But another way is that we can't stop talking about it. We can't stop talking about it. We can't stop and we can't be silent. We can't, go in fear mode. Oh, somebody's not going to like it. This is the truth. And thirdly, when we talk about it, like we do on here every time we get on here, we need to give relevant, real examples of how these issues, if you will, are affecting each and every one of us, right down to our pocket. I want my money back.
Yeah. Final words, Nicole.
Listen, I think one of the best ways that we can help win this fight in communities that don't necessarily or haven't traditionally heard conservative messaging is by, like Shelley said, sharing conservative messaging. Do you know YouTube has an algorithm, and once you start watching conservative content, more and more interesting conservative content just kind of happens upon your timeline. We have a bevy of shows on Metro Conservative Media. You know, buy yourself a t-shirt. This is a great conversation starter. I'm going to keep harping on this classic white because it's like that. I'm telling you, I can't wait for mine to get in. You wear a t-shirt and people say, oh, I've never watched that show. I've heard about that show. This is the way that we share the messaging. And it works. It absolutely works. Look at how far we've come in 4 years in this country. The legacy media used to run this country with an iron fist, and what they said is what they said. We took to the internet. We've built our own media sources, and look at us now. We're affecting culture positively, and we've got to keep our foot on the gas. We cannot let up. So that's an easy way to do your part.
Yeah, absolutely. And Soldiers of Finance, please, Tyrone, please share where people can find you and your final words for the audience.
Well, Soldiers of Finance channel right here on YouTube. We would love for you to come over and check us out. I agree with the ladies and what they've said about sharing the message, okay? And also being unapologetic about it. There's one thing I like about this Trump administration is if you look, I mean, Rubio, Holman, Bondi, none of them are in any way apologetic about what they're doing. The Democrats never are, right? So proceeding in that manner, because guess what? We're right, okay? We are right to say it is wrong to expose children to adult sexual content. That's wrong, all right? We are right to say this is a sovereign nation with borders that need to be respected, okay? And we're right to say, look, all of this taxpayer money we're spending, we need to account for it, okay? And get a handle on what we're doing. We're right. The left, as evidenced by the last election, is as wrong as two left shoes, as my grandfather used to say.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep. All right. Well, that does it for us tonight. We will be back on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Check us out. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and subscribe and the notification bell so you know when we go live. Also, do me a favor while you're watching tonight, hit that thumbs up button. That helps to increase our voice here on YouTube. Again, we're here at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. That's everything that I can think of as of right now. I'm getting everything. Yeah, so that's everything for right now. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all.
Until
Thank you very much.
Yes, count your blessings and live a life of courage. Good night.